Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge the Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the northwest section of the map, ending with Team 2 in the southeast. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so we make sure we have enough time for that early action coverage. Starting off with the easternmost player on Team 1. It is Shanking Giraffe going first land as a Seraphim. Very interesting name. Also, by the way, he is in Ruby Red and he is an 1100 because this is a red ground, like red terrain map. He's just all kitted out in that red color because he is a Seraphim. Doesn't look super great, but it's not every map is going to be luscious and green or that kind of like tannish color. So, sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. And this is one of those matches where I'm not a huge fan, but other players may beg to differ. To his southwest, another Seraphim of Team 1. It is Seraphim Calm. Specifically, going to probably call him Seraphim for short. Going first land, he is a 1400 in Regal Purple. To his northwest, in Imperial Garrett, we have once again Buried the Light going first land as an Aeon. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. So we'll see if Team 1 relies on him a lot, or it'll be, maybe he's the first one killed off. Who knows? We'll just have to watch the match to see how it goes on. And again, he's Aeon going first land. To his south, in Light Oak Tan, it is Mutu Loud going first land as a Cybran. He is a 1200, and again, he's going first land. Most likely second air, especially with that configuration, and then most likely second air for the Bury the Light, of course. And last but not least here for Team 1, it is Balfron going first land as an UEF. He is that Barbie Pink? That is Barbie Pink, and he is a 1400. So for Team 1 side of things, we have 2 Seraphim, an Aeon, a Cybran, and a UEF, which means all of the factions are represented by Team 1 with a double dose of Seraphim. Down here in the southeast, starting off with the westernmost player on Team 2, it is the lightish red pink player of one Big Andy going first air as a UEF. He is an 1100. Very surprising he's going first air. Maybe he'll be an air player here in this game. He is kind of on the front lines, at least in terms of his western direction. So kind of interesting he went first air instead of first land. But maybe he has a different sort of build order or mindset than I have in mind. To his northeast in Emerald Green, we have Maximus Triple X going land all day. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth land. He is a 1600. He is the second highest rated player on Team 2. And again, he is a UEF going Emerald Green. And in the rear here for Team 2, another UEF. It is Raw Legit going first land in orange, the color orange. He is the highest rated player on Team 2 and second highest overall in the game at 1700. And again, he is a UEF. To his north, another UEF player. So far, 3 UEF players on Team 2 is a Desert Wolf 216 going first land. He is in Rust. And again, he is a 1200. And last but not least here for Team 2 in the north, already in the ocean. Well, not ocean, that's a pond. He is the royal blue player of Signal Runner. He's going first and second land as a Cybran. And he is a 1500. Apologies, that was the 4th UEF player, not the 3rd UEF player for Desert Wolf. So for Team 2 side of things, they have all UEF except for 1 Cybran. So it is a kind of a variety pack here for Team 1, and it is a all or nothing on UEF with a little bit of dose of Cybran in there. So 4 UEF and 1 Cybran for Team 2. No access to Colossus or chickens or donuts or YOLOs or Paragons or any sort of that goodness. Just straight Fatboys and Monkey Lords. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reclaim here. Currently still on the map, we have 15,000, a little bit, so probably 15,500 mass on the map currently, divided up by 10 players. That is 1.5k mass per player. That is a decent amount of mass to have. We've had matches where it's been 7,000, 8,000. Some matches it's been like 300. The 1,500 is a pretty nice amount of mass, enough for a couple of upgrades or factories or whatever the case may be. Let's take a look at the mass point layouts. And man, there are a lot of mass points in the middle of the map. There are 2 quad mechs in the southwest and northeast corners. There's a couple of match points on these upper plateaus dotted around the map. Not these. Well, there's one right here. There's one on this upper plateau. I would not be surprised to see these players closest to that plateau grab them, or maybe the air player put some T2 or T3A defenses up there. But the fanning out is starting to happen here for Team 2's Emerald Green player of Maximus Triple X, trying to get a nice readout on what his enemy is doing. And there's a lot of match points to go after. I mean, let's see. Let's just take, just the, the midpoint. Actually, that's not the midpoint. That's more the midpoint, like right here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's call it 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 21 mexes roughly, essentially in this kind of circle area. That's a lot of mexes, and I kind of think that it's going to be, front line's going to be about here and here, considering there is a tri-mex position that both teams want, and both teams want to deny one another. There will be a lot of fighting in the middle, probably at least one player in the southwest corner and the northeast corner. We can kind of see that materialize as it's going on. But besides that, I mean, all the fight is going to be down the middle. We already see comms from both teams move in that direction. We have one comm actually very far forward for Balfron. Instead of diverting his attention southward, he's going more central, just leaving his units to go that way. We'll see if that ends up being a positive or a negative for him as time goes on. He has his own transport, going to drop off some engineers. We even see a counter transport coming out from Team 2's One Big Andy, so both players have a similar idea going after the upper plateau, where we do see Balfron going for this quad mex position. We do see the comm of One Big Andy going for that quad mex position, so both of these players will be at odds as the game kicks off here at almost 4.5 minutes. We do see in the north not as much of aggressive droppings. We don't even see any transports from either of these players. They're going to probably just fight it more on the land side of things. There might be a distance build here pretty soon. We actually see some distance reclaim going on by these engineers, scooping up those. I don't even know what those are. Kind of remind me of stuff you find on Felucia, just very big plants, maybe. If you Felucia is a planet in Star Wars. It was in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and it was Ayla Secura. Was it Ayla Secura? Yeah, I think it was died on that planet due to her clones. Anyway, that's the one I'm talking about. We do see in the middle of the map 3 comms are focusing this front line. We have Mutulal, Balfron, and the forces at least coming up from Seraphim that are making up the front line for Team 1. And for Team 2, it is Maximus, Desert Wolf, and Raw Legit. They're moving actually kind of more in a westward direction, not a northwest direction, which indicate maybe they're trying to isolate the southwestern corner for their team and then push northward from that. That'd be a very interesting play, trying to cut off the corner from their opponent. We do see a couple of bombers and escorting interceptors on their way. The transport is sitting there just with those engineers. One Big Andy isn't really paying attention to it, but interceptors are on nearby and bombers do support them. There they go. They are trying to go after that transport. One Big Andy is going to suffer a huge loss in engineers here. Had a good opportunity to get some T1 factories, but just didn't take the opportunity to do it. And here come those bombs. Here they are, and kaboom. I just noticed that I did not speed it up to 0, so now we're back to 0 speed. I was wondering why I was a little slow there. But that's okay. Getting, a nice couple of minutes on the early action isn't the worst thing. I do speculate that Team 2's One Big Andy will solidify this position a lot better, just due to the fact that his comm is here, which means most of his attention will be here. I feel like Battlefront will focus more on the middle, and he'll lose the southwest corner. That's I don't know, but there is a fourth comm emerging to the front lines here for Team 1, and it is the air player Bury the Light. So maybe that will compensate a little bit, but Team 1's Mutulal just by himself in the middle of the map, building his little T1 mechs, just hanging out. Can't fault him for that. He is with no support, and hopefully he does not be pincered by Team 2's Maximus Triple X, because he will be an early evacuation in this game, and no one wants to be a statistic, even in my repertoire. Is the more games that somebody dies before 20 minutes, it's just another one of those, like, see, there's so many matches, someone's gonna die. We know someone's gonna die, and so don't be that guy that dies. But of course, if you do die, at least die in a glorious way. Don't just die. I don't know what else to say to that. Anyway, We see a lot of units trying to intercept Mutulal, but he's by himself. He'll be perfectly fine. A couple of strikers, T1 tanks, really not going to worry him. You know, he is a Cybran. He has the least amount of hit points on his commander. So can't overestimate his skills too much, but a couple of T1 tanks and artillery is not the hugest thing to worry about. It does look like Maximus is doing the same thing here in the west, sending all of his units to group up here and try to solidify this side of the map. We do see the Calm of Signal Runner has crossed his little pond and made his nice T1 facility, very similar going on in the west for Balfron. And actually, both players are doing the exact same thing, focusing the middle, at least the edge of the middle, and allowing just their units to fight it out. This position isn't even grabbed by Team 1's shanking giraffe, which is just very weird. Someone just shanking a giraffe. It's 4 mexes. That's 8 mass a second in T1 mexes. That is a decent amount of mass, especially when we're talking about, you know, 20s to maybe 50s of mass. That's almost 20% of your mass coming from that little section. It's a lot of mass. Just leave on the table, especially early on like this. It does look like this starts to be a 2v1 opportunity here for Team 1. The Signal Runner does have some backup. He has his own facilities. He's getting more PD to protect himself and his units. We do see all of those units now that were congregated here by Maximus move southwestwardly now, and they might looking to go after Balfron. We do see a couple of units lining that front line here for Mutulal, but Balfron's getting his own T1 PD online as well. Maximus is just sitting there reclaiming, and we see one big Andy actually pushing west directly to try to cut off any sort of supply lines here for Team 1's Balfron. It is very dangerous, very, very, very dangerous here for Team 1's Balfron's units, because that is, once you cut off supply lines, it's just a siege. And eventually the siege works, most of the time. Doesn't always work, but most of the time it does work. In FAF, most likely works. Again, most likely. Not always, most likely. There's always that use case where somebody is the exception, and I end up being like, see, it's not always. I always have to always cover my butt in that regard. This is just the T1 Mantis hanging out around these mexes. Neither player going for these. That is, again, 4 mexes not even being used. I don't mean to circle so much. And there's a couple of T1 mexes up here that Shanking Giraffe hasn't even gone after either. That is most definitely in his territory and is in purview to go after. We have a couple of units here on the east. Maybe they look like they're trying to go after some engineers. Mantis are being shot at by Counter Zooey and Dams. I thought, no, there's an Ilshi on the cards here as well. Team 1's Seraphim player of the Seraphim name is putting out T2 Ilshis. Very dangerous for the comms on Team 2 to not have gun upgrades. Desert Wolf doesn't have any. Let's see. Signal Runner doesn't have one, but he's going for T2. We see Gun going on the way for Balfron, Gun going on the way for Mutulal, Gun going on the way for Maximus, Gun going on the way for one big Andy. Lots of guns here in this game. Of course, I think most units have a gun on board, but not the point that I'm getting at. You see a couple of T2 Janus being attacked by T1 Inties. These could easily turn around and take those out, but we have now T2 Swiftwinds, which are they're not bombers here for the Aeon, but they're like pseudo ASFs. They can just rip through a Janus, a couple of them. T1 AA going after those T2 Swiftwinds, and unfortunately they don't have a lot of hit points on those fighters, and so they get pretty chewed up. It does look like Team 1, again, trying to do a similar thing that Team 2 is doing, is kind of isolating either the southwest and the northeast corner. You can see a lot of focus trying to hem in Signal Runner. Very dangerous, especially once you cut off this section of the map. The only way Signal Runner can leave is through, of course, the pond. We do see a large force of units coming up from Shanking to do exactly the same thing that is going on in the southwest. But both teams doing pretty much the exact same thing. Obviously different units and different factions and whatnot, but essentially the same kind of strategy is isolate one of the corners and essentially grab the horizontal line and push north instead of trying to push on a diagonal. It has less, not surface area, but the diagonal, the hypotenuse is always longer than the two sides. So if you're able to grab, essentially take away that diagonal and move it to more of a horizontal line, you have less field of view you have to worry about. But T2 and T1 units moving in against Signal Runner here in the east. Seraphim and Mutulal is pushing against him as well. He has a couple of tickle cannons online. They're focused on those Ilshis, which not the best idea. Janus rolling around trying to napalm those units. Does kill a couple of those T2.5 Ilshi units, and Sigma Runner getting some nice veterancy off of those units. Already at 1K. Janus coming in once again. Interceptors, and I thought I saw a Swift one in there, but Interceptors come and intercept that Janus, of course. For some reason, I will always say that joke. It will never get old. Some players or some people in the comment section or in the viewers themselves might say that joke's getting old, but I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. T1 Mantis versus T1 Thams. Just tanks haven't added, or bots. They're actually bots, they're not tanks, but they're essentially the T1 tanks. Sigma Runner actually looks like he's going to fight off both of those comms, getting a couple of nice Janus runs in from his teammate of Desert Wolf. Really saved his bacon here. Of course, it is a tickle cannon, but it is better than nothing. More units are inbound, and they're being forced back by the tickle cannon of the Cerberus. Another one being built, and he's probably going to start PD creeping just a little bit. T1 PD now creeping on him, trying to again isolate this eastern side. We have two comms on their way to support Desert Wolf and Wild Legit moving into the east to assist their teammate of Sigma Runner. And Battlefront is severely wounded, sub 500 hit points for a second. I don't know what the heck happened to him, but Team 2's Maximus is not really superly paying attention to that. He's probably more worried about being attacked by some Restores, which I don't blame him in that regard. ASFs are on the cards here for both teams, but Team 1 are going for more of a AA and anti-ground move, and air to ground surface, that kind of weaponry. And Team 2's One Big Andy has essentially secured the southwestern corner and is pushing northward. Battlefront needs to fall back and deal with this. He can easily just build a nice line of PD right here and call it good. But he's going to essentially create his own little kill. Actually, don't put him there. You want to put him here, and this is the kill box. The other way around. Those units are going to keep moving, and this is going to be a severe attack against Team 1's Battlefront's base. And the downside with having all of the bases pretty well packed together is if a bunch of units get in, they don't kill just one base worth. They might even kill two base worth of infrastructure. It's definitely dangerous here. We have Battlefront wrapping up pretty quickly, 62 hit points a second. That was really quick. Maybe he had some assistance from some engineers or something. But he's going to move his units to intercept the ones coming out from One Big Andy and not protect his comm. This would give an opportunity for Team 2 to go after him. I don't see any missiles that I can tell. Are there any sort of, they were just the main tax here. I don't see much of anything else. Another Restorer gets shot down by those T1 AA guns. And stealth on the way here for Mutulal. He has gun. He'll probably go Nano next. He's at 1 veterancy, almost up to 2. He will immediately go for Nano. Desert Wolf has his gun. Signal Runner should probably get his gun. Unfortunately, though, the gun on the Cyber Commander's is on the right arm, or the right upgrade, not the middle one, and so he had to get rid of his T2. He wants to keep that T2, especially for those shields. And it does look like Shanking Giraffe has essentially wiped out Signal Runner from that northeast corner. And we do finally have one comm on Team 1 going after those T1 Mechs. That is Seraphim comm here at 15 minutes in this game. Does look like some some comms are retreating off the front lines, at least in terms of the air player. Wild Legit is turning tail, and we already saw that Barry the Light has already retreated. We have Desert Wolf going for tack missile. We might see Billy Nuke. I think it's a little early. I think usually 25 minutes. I know people sometimes rush them, so maybe 20 minutes. But at least 25 minutes at the latest if he does go for that. Units are inbound taking out these T1 PD and, of course, a couple of T1 Mechs. Intel is going to go down here. Not that it's a huge issue. This intel should be T2, to be fair, Sigma Runner. That should be T2. You have a large group of units now moving southward. They're not going to go all the way, but they could just straight up run over Signal Runner here in the south. We do see those tickle cannons able to take out those T1 Medusa. Again, Cerberus, not bad against T1. I'm not constantly harping on the T1 game in terms of that. But T2, just forget about it. Just don't even worry about it. Forget about it. Think about something else. Build T1 PD or something. It's the damage is just not there. The rapid fire nature is nice, but unless you had a way to physically upgrade the Cerberus, not good. It's not good. We do see Mutulal staying at arm's length here, going after that shield. There's a stealth field next by. Not that it does a whole lot for vision, but of course they can't see the comm. He's out of sensor range. Actually, he's in sensor range, but he has stealth. But vision will spot him, though, and those cannons open up immediately. One of them is actually out of the shield, and he will be taken out. He's just barely out of it there. Does look like Mutulao is being pinged, saying, hey, you got to be cautious of that stealth on the way here for Signal Runner as well. And there's a large T1 force inbound, and with an assisting T1 with a couple of T2 units inbound as well. This is not looking good. A nice pincer maneuver on the cards here. Pings go down for Desert Wolf to do something. They're probably saying about move. Something is inbound, coming in to maybe assist on that eastern side. That missile on his backpack is being built, and this is not looking good here for Team 2 on this side. Signal Runner needs to get out of there sooner rather than later. You have 3 different army/comms moving in. 1 comm, 2 armies, and Signal Runner is being overrun here, and he needs to retreat. He needs to get out of dodge. We have T1 Thams, T1 Zui, T2 Ilshis coming in from the north, as well as T1 Thams. A lot of Seraphim units just raining down on that comm. This position will not last long, unfortunately, here for Team 2. And the mirror to the west of Battlefront is still perfectly fine, but there is still a large army for him to contend with. He's trying to keep it at bay with some missile launchers and T2 units of his own, but Maximus is going to be fine. He has his own T2 intel installation to give us some nice, ring of view, vision. Not vision, intel rather than vision. If he had the what is the Seraphim have the suits there, essentially it's just a giant bubble of vision. Very, very useful. But he does not have that because he is Aeon. Actually, he is UEF, excuse me, and you could easily get that from your Seraphim teammate, a Cybran teammate. I keep saying the wrong faction. But Signal Runner. He built a nice radar to again give him some more intelligence here because he doesn't have a lot of sight to be able to see stuff. We do see Desert Wolf coming in to assist as well. Both comms trying to keep this position alive. The infrastructure is gone, but the comms have not left. Team 1 hasn't been able to claim the actual physical, map control of that area, the actual territory. They've just taken out everything that was there. There is a possible pinch maneuver coming here from the west out from one Big Andy, but the commit is not coming out from Maximus. If this is going to be successful, they have to do something. A couple of facilities were knocked out in favor of just T2, it looks. Actually, one of them was T2. Actually, 2 of them were T2. Weird. I don't know what's going on with that. Looks like they're moving westward to intercept those units. Those are just going to move southward. One Big Andy, of course, has control of the southwest, and Giraffe has control of the northeast. It does look like now Michelao has control over this section, and they fought over 1 mass point. Just 1, not 3, not 4, not even 2, 1 mass point. But they wanted, again, to control the northern half of the map. And it does look like with the destruction of those facilities, there's not really a lot more that Team 1's Battlefront can do. He has his forces. He's going to launch them at the opponent. And as he does so, move his comm back. This is the distracting force. He doesn't want his comm to be killed off in any sort of evacuation orders he gives himself. Desert Wolf has been severely wounded, but he is perfectly fine, repping up those hit points almost up to 2 veterancy. With a couple of shots, he will get to that. Just needs a couple more mass kill. Let's see, does he get it with that one? No, he needs just one more kill. One more kill with the comm, and he'll be perfectly fine. There is a sniper bot nearby for Seraphim comm, and again, they're still just trying to shove these 2 comms in the water, force them out of the engagement. And Team 2, you better be cooking something up good because it's not looking good on that northern side of the map. Air grid being furnished here for Team 2's air player. E3 land online. I don't see much of realistically anything else. That's about it. Team 1, are you rushing any sort of interestingness? No. Just more air facilities being built. Does look like T2 air is just there here for Mutalabs, and I have some Corsairs, which is always nice to have, of course. But it does look like those comms are not going to budge from their position. They will be forced into the water. But T3 T3 Titans, wrong T word. Again, lots of T's and lots of numbers in this game, are trying to deal with this push. There's a lot of Team 1 spam here, but there are a couple of Ilshis, T2 assault bots. They can rip through T3 units. It takes them, a lot of concerted effort, but they can do it. Percy's good luck, because those things would just one-shot most of these units pretty quickly. But the rapid-fire nature is very important in this because there's a lot of units. And with Percy's, if you miss your first shot, you got to wait a little bit. T3 broadsword on the way here for Team 2. We also have a couple of T3 broadswords on the way for a different player of Team 2 from Desert Wolf. So both players going for gunships, kind of similar to what Team 1's Bayer the Light did with his Restorers, but he's actually kind of stopped that production, gone straight for ASF. Does have a transport nearby just to move his comm and the like. But now 3 comms on the front lines here for Team 2. Gun, T2, and stealth, and gun and missile. Missile is inbound. It's going after some targets. What is it going after? Is it going after the comm of Seraphim? No. Oh, it is. It's half the health on that comm. The comm needs to move or he is dead. There he goes. He's going to be forced back. Would have loved to see that be a Billy Nuke. He would have killed that commander. At least I think he would have killed him. At least. Does he? Wait, did he have any upgrades or? No, he didn't. But broadswords come in to finish off the job. That missile was just there to soften up that commander. And there he goes. He is dead. Nice 2-1 punch here from Team 2's player of Desert Wolf. And at that stage in the game, Team 1 has 4 players left. Team 2 has 5 players left. Oh, hold on a second. Mutulal is being attacked by those broadswords that came after Seraphim Comm. There is some AA in the area. There's a lot of T1 AA. I mean, there's a lot. And they are chipping through those broadswords. Mutulal did get dropped decently low, almost into the red. But it did not end up succumbing to those wounds. Team 1 again at 4 players left. Team 2 at 5 players left. Team 1 at 690 mass per second. Team 2 at 780. So while Team 1 was a little bit more focused on going for expansionary efforts, Team 2 was more focused on upgrades. Is kind of the trend that I kind of see player or teams do in terms of one is more aggressive, one is more defensive. But that is, let's see how much mass has that afforded both players, both teams. Team 1 at 430,000 versus almost 500,000. About 60 mass or more. That's a couple of monkeys or chickens if they had access to. Tactical Nuke now being built by Des Whoop. See, 25 minutes. See, I was kind of right about that. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm wrong. It just depends on the day and the flavor and what players do. I don't pre-screen the games. Actually, that's not true. I do pre-screen them in the sense that there's no desyncs. Besides that, I just let the game run on just a different monitor, and I'm watching YouTube or whatever I might be doing on another screen. That upgrade went real quick. Pause for a second and just is really speeding back up. Anyway, he's already at 70%. He's going to start probably throwing that at these units, get some nice veterancy on his commander, finish up to 5-star, maybe even go after Mutulal himself. But he's getting 96 hit points a second, though. So I think it's going to take 2 nukes to kill him off at 17,000. It might be 2 nukes. It might be 1. I can't remember the exact damage. What? Why did it say 100% and then what is this? I saw the upgrade go very, very, the net percentage go up very, very quickly. Don't know what happened with that. Maybe he was talking about the missile was being built. And maybe that's what it was. Okay, maybe you have to upgrade the actual missile that it has to have a missile loaded to classify as the upgrade. Anyway, I don't know what happened with that. But anyway, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And let me know how you feel about the game so far. Of course, as well, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Share this video with your friends, your family, your pets, your disgraced uncle, anyone and everyone who wants to watch, of course. And we see in the north there is an ASF battle between the 2 main airplanes of this game. It does look like Team 2 has the numbers and the gunships. While the ASFs are distracted, they're going to take out some T2 mass points. Those ASFs are actually going to turn tail and go after those gunships, but again, that will just lead to their demise. The ASFs are going to die anyways. They might as well die in some sort of valor. And the AA off the broadswords might be enough to kill that last ASF, and it is. There are 8 broadswords in this mix. I would love to see them handed off just to one player, maybe the secondary air player of Desert Wolf. And these gunships are just going to move straight into Team 1's air player's main base. There's not a lot of them there, and a lot of T1 pigeons get killed. They get killed off there. The ASFs from Team 2's Raw Legit are escorting his broadswords, while the gunships from Team 2's Desert Wolf get killed off. There is a couple of AA emplacements being built and more being spammed up. Monkey coming online here for Team 1, but this is going to hurt. Some mass fabs dying off. That is never a good thing. ASF's constantly being sent. Another group is going to be able to kill off essentially most of those broadswords, and this is the advantage of having your bases really like right next to one another. Is one teammate can spam up a bunch of AA and defend, while the element can focus on whatever he was doing, or fighting off those broadswords in a different way. But one gunship still online. It could go after that T3 land headquarters, and there is a T2 what is that, a AA gun or a flak gun? I don't know what the name was. But a lot of T1 AA in the area. That broadsword needs to leave, and it is not going to. Wants to kill that T2 Mechs up. Will hit get it? No. 50 hit points left. Did not get that T2 Mechs. Definitely unfortunate. But Team 2 has struck a decent blow in mass points. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, sorry, 10, 11, 12. 12 mass points down. One of them was at least T3. That's a lot of mass to lose, and you can see that Team 2 is now up over 200 mass, actually 300 mass than their opponents. That is a nice amount to be up. And Tactical Nuke still being built here by Team 2's Desert Wolf. Yeah, that had to have been the actual missile itself. For some reason, the Tactical Nuke upgrade says or it just looks like you have to have the missile loaded first and then upgrade it. Which I don't know why that would matter, but I don't know. We have T3 Titans leading the charge here. There are some Percys in the mix as well, forcing this mixed group of units coming out from Bury the Light back. Bury the Light inherited everything from Seraphim Calm's death. There might be a nice push or a nice opportunity to push in the east, and Bury the Light finishes the first, I think, experimental in this game. He is an Aeon, so it means he is probably... Actually, no, he is also Seraphim, so he builds the chicken. The chicken doesn't look too bad with the red terrain look to it. The gray, I wish it was more... Right? I wish it was kind of like the white. I think would look really, really good with the red terrain. Make the white really pop. Make it kind of look like it's not like it's glowing. Kind of the idea. It still looks good, but I feel like it could be better. Anyway, that's just me talking about design and whatnot. ASF still protecting their broadsword brethren here. More AA is being spammed up all around though. There's only so many times you can do gunship rushes before your opponent just builds a bunch of AA and calls it good. So you got to use it while you have it, or you just use it once and then change a different strategy. There's T3 Mechs is kind of vulnerable, and there's actually some in the rear. There's one up here and there's one up here. That's what the broadswords are going after. They're going to get another T3 Mechs kill, and they're going to get another T3 Mechs kill. And those ASFs are not engaging, trying to pull the ASFs away from those gunships and force them underneath the AA coverage. It is an opportunity, or at least they're trying to have an opportunity. Those broadswords can easily go after those match FAFs. They're going after this T3 Mechs though, but they're not going to... Oh, it's such an opportunity missed. They're going to target the Pigeons. The AA is targeting the gunships. That's not going to work, and the ASF have to be forced to retreat and will be either killed off or maybe make it out. No, they're not making it out. Those ASFs are dead. Might as well turn around and fight the ASFs inbound here, because there's more AA lining anywhere and everywhere here on that northern side of the map. Team 2's Signal Runner forces have breached the wall and are going to push against Team 1's Mutulao. There is a T2 Mech, T2 Intel. That's going to go down. That's got to hurt. There's another T2 Intel over there. There isn't an Omni online, surprisingly, here for Team 1. You'd think there would be. Of course, there is the main force of chickens. We have some T3 tanks. A lot. And when I say a lot, I don't just mean that figuratively. I mean 88 T1 AA Sky Slammers, those mobile AA guns. There's also, more T2 bangers, flak artillery inbound. That is a lot. That is a lot of AA. Reminds me of those Percys from, was it yesterday, a couple days ago? There's just like that huge herd of Percys just, grazing around the map. In the south, one Big Andy kind of just been hanging out, building up his own AA as well to protect himself. Doesn't want to be attacked by any broadswords or any gunships from Team 1. That chicken essentially is the main... Actually, there's two chickens here. The main driving force here for Team 1's front line. They wanted to, again, still secure this eastern approach here. And there is a couple of bricks just going through and ripping everything. A new one here from the northeast corner against Team 1. And all it takes is just a couple of tanks just hanging out, not doing a whole lot, and no defenses, and they can rip through a lot of eco. Tactical Nuke finished in 403 seconds. That's almost 7 minutes. Took a little bit, and now he has to build the nuke anyways. So the missile was loaded. Then it wasn't loaded when he started the upgrade, I think. Then he loaded the missile. Then he did the upgrade, and now he has to reload the missile. What's the point of having the missile loaded if you have to reload it anyway? Just my little rant there. Like, why does it matter if the missile is loaded? You're doing an upgrade. Because you're going to have to either you just convert the regular missile to a Billy Nuke, or you just build the Billy Nuke housing and then just load the new missile. I don't know why there has to be a couple of steps. He's actually going to fall back a little bit. He doesn't really need to. Yeah, there are some Optims in there that have torpedo capability on them, but that's it. There are those chickens. They're moving east, and they're actually going to go in the water and go around. There are some gunships inbound here, and of course they want to avoid the AA in the main army. What I do like is that Team 1 is approaching it from this angle, so the front line is faced this way, so they're not engaging everything at the same time. Unfortunately, it does lead to the fact that they're essentially providing their own kill box for Team 2 while their units are being kind of, forced into a corner. It's hard to move around. You can see getting body blocked constantly. Optim trying to move, stuff hitting him. And he is going to be forced back, but the chickens are going to be into the water, and I don't really know if that was the best idea, because Team 2 definitely knows they're there. Yeah, chick will go through water. We have Torps coming online here for Team 2 Signal Runner. They are those cormorants, and it will, I don't know if it'll force the chickens out of the water or force them to go a little slow. There is an Omni online. They're going to get that for sure. The comm of Desert Wolf is actually retreating kind of far back. I don't know why. There is a Monkey Lord now online for him. Looks like he was gifted over some Cybran technology to assist with that construction, or at least start the construction of it. Those Torp bombers constantly raining in. The broadswords now open fire once the chickens come out of the water, but unfortunately that Omni station is not going to be saved. The Team 1 PD was targeted first. The Omni still online. There it goes. It actually came in from a teammate's Fatboy. That's what killed off the Omni. That's kind of just not disappointing, but it's just one of those funny things where they didn't really need to die. Ion Storm does take out some of the, so it would have probably taken out the Omni anyways. And they're trying to ground fire the chicken. The chicken is barely visible above the water surface, and ASFs come in from Team 1's air player, buried the light, and they're gonna, those broadswords moved in, probably not the need to retreat. There's not a lot of AA on those things. Retreat underneath coverage. And those ASFs for Team 2 doesn't really hold a candle to those ASFs from Team 1. Those broadswords need to leave. They need to get under AA coverage and fast. A couple of Torp bombers will just continue raining torpedoes on that chicken. Not those. There's only one chicken. Now, but that's essentially just a mass gift by Team 2. It's 12, almost 13,000 mass. Just handed off. Most of those broadswords do survive that attack, though, so it's not terrible. There is a couple of Kruger tanks, the rapid-fire AA cannons of the UEF. Of course, the Fatboy. It's being escorted by those, and the lightest red pink player of One Big Annie hasn't pushed that much. Laser coming online for Mutalal. Maybe he'll go for Teleporter next. He doesn't have a lot of energy income, so it's going to take him a little bit to upgrade get to the teleporter, but he is building the laser. It's not the worst thing. It does look like the ASFs are trying to just assert their dominance over the not broadswords, but the broadswords that are nearby, and of course the cormorants that are nearby, going after the chicken. The chicken, I don't think is getting out of there. The Monkey Lord has its own torpedoes on board as well, and they're firing into that chicken. That chicken is not going anywhere. Here's an interesting question, though. If a chicken is underwater, does the Ion Storm go off? And if so, does the Ion Storm float to the surface of the water and then go off, or does it go on the bottom of the water? It does look like the ASFs from Team 1 do collide with the cormorants, and the chicken is below 5,000 health. And again, even if that chicken makes it out, Signalmen are going to hide under the water, be like, nope, not engaging that thing. The Monkey Lord, all he had to do was pop out of the water behind it and kill it. But the chicken fires off some shots going up to some engineers, and the chicken will go back under the surface of the water, but the Monkey Lord is nearby, and that's not going to do much because the torpedoes from the Monkey Lord will just kill off the chicken. There goes shots fired once again. Not a lot of hit points in second region for those. Another volley of torpedoes is inbound, and here we go. That should be enough. Yes, it is, to kill the chicken. Now, does the Ion Storm go to the surface of the water or down below, or does it not even activate? It does activate, and it does go to the surface of the water, or above it at least. So if there are any boats nearby, gotta watch out for it. Zach, my victory spell question 6 Signal Runner, and then he says it in Russian. That's just pretty funny. Torp bombers now, and Torp launchers now in the water as well for him, just to deal with any sort of threat. And now that Fatboy being escorted by a bunch of T3 Perseus, Titans. Those Cougars should be nearby as well. Going to force another chicken back. There are 2 chickens in this mix, so a lot of chickens coming at it. Actually, a third. There have been 5 chickens built by Team 1. Maybe switch to crabs or something, because you do have access to Cybran technology. You're really the only one pumping out those experimentals, so I feel like you should go for crabs or Colossus or something. You are Aeon, of course. He's going for Emissary, and that's already almost half done. E3 already is slowly coming on the cards here. That's a lot of engineers just kind of being idle over here. And those units are still charging 3 chickens. They're not giving up that chicken's kill. They're thirsty for chicken blood or something, and they just want to go for it. We have bricks coming in and pincering the side of those Perseus. We have ASFs guarding just in case some broadswords come in. And Team 2 is slowly regaining control of some of the middle, if not their olden territory, and getting a little bit more out of it. More units for Team 1's Giraffe trying to stop any sort of bleeding on this eastern edge. And that chicken is going up. It most likely will die. There's a monkey in the mix as well, but the monkey's going to be outranged by the 2 chickens. And that monkey is going to die. Caution does get pinged by somebody, and that monkey unfortunately went a little bit too far and will die for his efforts. And it does look like none of the chickens died for Team 1, and a lot of those units died for Team 2. So definitely a re-gifting of the mass they were gifted earlier, since it's a net 0, or not negative. It's not even a net loss. It's just net, yeah, it's just net 0. SMD online and almost loaded here for Maximus. We see he's back in his base with another SMD loaded. He's going to plant his own artillery. And it does look like shields being built to surround the T3 mexes. There is a satellite online for the UEF Desert Wolf player. I mean, with 4 UEF, the chances that somebody builds at least one is very high. There's another Monkey Lord pushing forward again. The Monkey Lord shooting its longer range guns. Isn't super damaging, but it's better than nothing. The AA missiles, I think they're missiles. Yeah, the AA missiles going after some ASFs. Not doing a lot of damage. But again, some is better than nothing. But a wave of broadswords is inbound. And that is not looking good here for Team 1's western side of the map. They're going to go after something. I don't know. But the approach is inbound. Trying to get a nice little shot of it as it, comes in on this edge of the map. Pings do go down here by Team 1, I would assume. They could kill off this Fatboy producing facility. There's a couple of AA cannons in there. P-gens. Some E-storage that could easily blow up. There it goes. Takes out a couple of those structures. I think they're coming in for that emissary. The emissary is now online, but the AA is not enough. ASFs do come in to deal with those gunships. Let's see how they're actually doing. The shields are starting to go down, but there's not enough firepower, it looks like, coming off those broadswords to really penetrate those shields. But one does go down. The satellite does come in and assist, so even if they fail, it will be enough. The one quantum reactor here for T3 Pigeon is down. Oh, the shields are down around it. Don't target the actual emissary. Target the Pigeons. One Pigeon is down. One more, just a couple more shots. Where's the laser? Laser needs to fire on that Pigeon and kill it off. There's another Pigeon not covered by shields. There you go. Target that one. And it's been reclaimed at the last second. The emissary is still online. It was very, very, very close. Unfortunately, had a couple more shots gone into the Pigeons, would have probably taken out that emissary. Now with that emissary online, what is it targeting? It's targeting the air grid here for Team 2's Raw Legit. He is suffering here. Desert Wolf throwing out a billion to the east with units inbound. Takes out a clump of those units. A lot of them are Othams. The crab is almost done here for Signal Runner's base, so once that finishes, he'll be able to deal with that pretty quickly. Nuke netted him a decent amount of mass. Now he's at 12,000 at 5-star veterancy. Don't care about the mass fabs, please. Don't need to know what that panel is. We want that panel to be just, just cut off from my map. Laser's still trying to puncture those shields. Isn't enough, unfortunately, now that there's some more engineer support, and they're building more and more shields as the time goes on. So again, one shield is not going to be enough. One laser is not going to be enough. A couple of hives trying to reclaim some Othams, and it's actually going to work in killing off with some of them. The Othams now targeting the hives to deal with that, but the crab is going to finish, unfortunately, for these Ilshis and these Othams. There is a couple of T2 triads nearby being built by engineers for defensive support as well, but those Ilshis, they will get a P-gen, and the reclaim will go off to protect the headquarters, and so the attack isn't too bad. They're just going to reclaim that immediately, but I feel like the SMD definitely was the biggest target that they took out, and the Billy Nuke, and took out some units. A couple of T3 Mexes were also killed off, but It was a nice attack, but it wasn't bad. What question mark? What? Ravagers to protect from what? Attack on the end? I don't know. Kill the fatty, says Muchulal. The fatty. 2 fatties are online. The chickens are going to keep pushing forward. The monkey from the west from Bury the Light as well. There's 3 chickens. The 3 chickens we saw earlier are just going to rip through those fatties. One of them is down and dusted. The other one's going to be down and dusted as well. Team 2 has lost their Fatboy support, and they don't really have a lot of combatant T4 land experimentals. They're mainly just artillery. There is, of course, the cyber inversion. They have Monkeyloids and Megaliths. Oh, that's a nice shot of that. I wondered what that looked like, a shooting star. I mean, it's inbound. It looks like for that satellite. We have, of course, the Continental support trying to protect it as well. But that emissary just ripping through those shields. There's not enough shields around that T4. I wouldn't even call it T4. It's just they use the experimental symbol for it. But as the experimental satellite system, I think you get access to something similar like that in the last mission when you play the UEF. There's like the control. Oh no, that's the Black Sun control station. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. It's been a while. I should do a video series on doing the campaign. I should do that and just trying to remind myself. Baby Nuke inbound here from Team 2's Desert Wolf. He's killed how much more mass off? 12,600. That Billy Nuke will not target anything, unfortunately, because these chickens and experimentals have moved out of range. The Fatboy pushing on the west. Team 1 is slowly losing a lot of their map control, but as they lose it, they're building up their rear line reserve of other infrastructure. Multiple SMDs online. Crab online, most likely for defense, or push it forward. Secondary air grid in the north. Love to see that. Looks like it has taken a beating. Another emissary is being built, and I do love the fact that he's not chaining the pigeons and emissaries together for a possible cascade going to happen. He's giving a little bit of room, more shields, and then he'll probably do a little bit more room and then do another one if that pattern holds true. But with multiple chickens on that front line pushing against one fatty, there's a lot of T3 support, but there's not enough. Not against 4 chickens and 5 chickens and a fatty. And there's a ton of firepower, and they are just ripping through anything and everything. Transfer control given over to Raw Legit, and then they're immediately killed off by the chicken anyways. That's gotta hurt. Watching air units be killed off by ground fire. You're being hit by Artie, says Mutalau. What is your response? I don't trust them. Why you don't have Artie up? I have 8 mechs, says Raw Legit. Was that a direct message? Stop. Hold on. I'm trying to hold on. It's taking a second to read that message. There's no Desert Wolf to allies. Yeah, that's why don't we trust them? It's allies. Okay, that was Maximus. I said that looked like me too. Anyway, I have 8 mechs. When we do have 8 mechs, you can't really pump out a lot of stuff. But the satellite is perfectly fine. He's building his own Duke. The second Duke up north is being reclaimed in focus of this Duke for here. There is a Duke planned here for Maximus as well. So multiple Dukes coming online. The air grid to the west here for Raw Legit is being attacked as well. You can see the remnants of the old one. But he did separate them out, and so one attack would not kill all of them off. He has his own mass fab farm going on there in the south. We have one big Andy hanging out. I don't know really what he's focusing on. He has his own SMD. I don't know really what he's focused on. But with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again, 5 chickens and a crab chicken running around. There's a crab to the north. We have artillery raining in to the north as well from these demolishers from the UEF. More experimentals pushing to the front line. The emissary is being built. This one, again, severely wounded, but still kicking out. Once it gets over 1 veterancy, he'll start repping his own hit points up without any assistance needed. I love the naval facility in the water here for Signal Runner, because why not? He hasn't built anything. He has some TMD and AA, but that's about it. He's just running around underneath the water. No satellite spam, nothing like that. Okay, literally as I say that, he's spamming out another satellite. That is actually from... Again, the 2 orange colors being next to each other, not great. The player of Desert Wolf is down here to the south. Don't know what he's doing, but that emissary fire is shooting around him. It's not the best idea. One big Andy says, or is pinging, somebody's pinging him to move. You can dodge that tele defense, says Balfron. Find me a comm. I think that's the pings going down. Is somebody teleporting? No, not yet. He does have telemazer, and he would be the only comm that would have that ability to do so. He's the only Cybran on Team 1. We do see just more and more fighting and just a lot of T1 spam coming out from Team 2's Maximus's facilities. Grab just ripping through all of those facilities, but has to move. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens, a monkey, and a Fatboy nearby, and a crab over there, but that's kind of out of range. I feel that you are asleep. Who is that to? Janking, what maps do you normally play? I feel like you're asleep. I mean, if the game was early in the morning and late at night, I would understand that. He's just building some TMLs. I know those are TMDs, not TMLs. Those are TMDs. Dude, target pigeons away from build power, says Desert Wolf. Oh, talking about those over there. Trying to take out the pigeons so that there's no power to the shields, which means you can take out the artillery by that. And in terms of power here for Bury the Light, he's up 20,000. You'd have to take out 8 or 9 of them to really impact that. One of them is severely damaged, though. The shielding on the Aeons are not super wide. Oh, there's one right here. There's one right here. There's one right here. Oh, it takes out the emitters. You also want to do that once the emitters are down. They don't have any capacity. You want to target them so that they don't just recharge. There's actually 2 lasers. Nope, that wasn't 2 lasers. That's just one. The second one's online. The second one's almost online. That was just a shot inbound from that emissary. And once the emitters are down, then target the pigeons. Once the pigeons are down, then it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy of you kill stuff, you kill more stuff, and that's it. He has Megabot and you Nukes. I'm going to kill all SMDs, says Bury the Light. Yeah, you can't do that. AMDs. What? Killing off your processor, your CPU for your computer. I think he said, I think he meant SMDs. Then you build nukes. Nuke says, wow, legit. Yeah, there is a nuke in the base here for Team 1's Shanking Giraffe. But that air grid is going down. Bury the Light is running away. Of course, artillery is landing next to him. Pigeons go off. That's going to hurt. That is a decent amount of his energy capacity. And he's almost dead. Sub 3,000 hit points. Actually, sub 2,500. Now the pigeons are going down. Lasers moving in to intercept. We'll have to hide underneath that shielding for the emissary. And now we were talking about... Oh, but Mutalao is defeated by Desert Wolf. The tele-defense... What looks like it was too strong here for Team 2, and Mutalao kills himself on that shielding. It's now a 5v3 in favor of Team 2. They're building another another Duke as well. The Duke almost half done here for Maximus as well, so they're going to have 3 artillery online here pretty soon. The laser has done a very good job with the assistance of the artillery and picking apart the pigeons here for Bury the Light. He's down to 8,000. Oh, it keeps going back and forth. 8,000, 3,000. He's building more shielding, so it's probably why it's 8,000. He's actually negative for a little bit. Now he's positive again. If he builds more shields, he doesn't have a lot of power. He doesn't have a lot of power. Can't power the shields. Can't power the shields. There's no shields. That's again a catch-22. Billy Nuke going off in the east, trying to prevent the incursion of those units from shanking. Because he does have a nuke, and it is almost loaded. But the only issue, like, this would be the only good base to take out. There's a lot of TMLs here. Let's see. There's this base in the middle that has one loaded. And obviously that one will protect a lot of stuff. There's a SMD over here to the west. You could take out this stuff for One Big Andy. But One Big Andy's kind of just been holding the fort down in the corner, not doing a whole lot. He's not doing nothing, but he's not the center focus of Team 2's strategy. He just has, of course, been holding his position. Still being annoying against Balfron, but hasn't been like making big plays. The shielding around the comm is going down. He has the first shielding online. Duke hit next to him. That's gotta hurt. Comm is targeted directly. The shield capacity is going down. And there he goes. Emitters are going down as well. The second laser from the sky is online, killing off more of those shield emitters as he goes. The eye is online to get a nice little vision of what's going on the other side of the map. What can he see? He sees a lot of ASFs and some mass VAPs. That's about it. Probably just going after that for Maximus XXX. The emissary is down. A pigeon was being built but has been scrapped for other pursuits. Another barrage of lasers should be enough to kill off that emissary. But the shield is just too short to cover that one, and unfortunately here for Buried the Light, he will lose one of his emissaries here pretty soon. Artillery shooting way off to the north to go after that T3 Mechs. Oh no, it does look like... Oh, nope. Oh, nope. The shielding came in just at the last second to protect it, but Nuke is launched. Where is it going? It's going for that front line. Actually, it's going all the way in the rear. No. It's going right here. The SMD is down. The SMD is down. Looks like it was killed off by maybe some strat bombers, whatever the case may be, but it is down nonetheless. A lot of torp bombers being built. Don't know why, but those two Fatboys are going to die, and there goes that frontline defense. There goes kaboom. Actually takes out some mass fabs as well. The SMD was being rebuilt, it looks like, but that's too late for that. Fatboys in the west being pressured by Fatboys from the north. There's actually a Fatboy on the ridge. It was built up here, which means it can't be hit. Look at me, paw. I'm up here. It does look like there is a laser coming out from Team 1 as well, but that crab, even if they kill off these two, this one will still be up here. That is really funny to just see that be up there. And I saw, yep, there's the laser outbound from Balfron. His shield, not shield, but satellite station is being shielded right now. The emissary almost died, 1,600 hit points left. Constant barrages of artillery landing around the first emissary built. The Duke for Team 2's Raw Legit is Raw Legit is built. He has another one as well, so that's the second one I was talking about. The third one for Maximus is about to be in 100% completion mode and will be able to target anything and everything. There it goes. It has been completed. Team 2, I don't see any sort of other pursuits to go. More satellites. We have a base here for One Big Andy with some T1 Pigeons, T1 AA, not T1, I can't even talk, T1 PD, and some Ravagers for support. And of course, the tele defense isn't really necessary because the Cyberance column for Team 1 has been defeated. Oh, that Radiance was almost killed off, that T3 shield. Artillery landing in all around. Of course, the Emissary is still online, the Duke's still online. The shield capacity is holding for now. You can see the amount of pigeons. It's above 5,000, but every time he builds another one, he just doesn't have enough to float more. The shielding around the Duke built by Maximus is going down, and another nuke is being launched, this time out from Bury the Light, and it is going for this position. Is the SMD down? No, it is not. Maybe he edged it out. Maybe he didn't. No, he did not. The SMD will be perfectly fine. You can see it's going to cross right over that circle. You can see it right about now. Should be fired off. Yep. Oh, actually, it gets covered by this one. Oh. That was real close there, coming out clutch from one. Okay, says Raw Legit. That SMD was circling on that nuke. Yes, he was. That SMD out from One Big Andy protected that position. What was that about? The satellite over Maximus is being able to deal with the shields, and they can't be built fast enough. Oh, the pigeons go down, and the Duke is down here from Maximus. There's two Dukes online still here for Team 2. How is the emissaries doing? The shielding is starting to fall around it, but it's constantly clicking on and off. Bury the Light trying to manage them, of course, as best as he can, while his other teammates focus on front line issues. A lot of that front line has been dealt with, and the Calm of Signal Runner with cloaking and lasers just ripping through those engineers, trying to prevent any sort of cleanup efforts. How much mass is currently still on the field, I wonder, or actually is now on the field? 112,000. Not as much as I would thought at 51 minutes in this game in terms of mass per second. Team 2 at 2.1, Team 1 at 1.2. Another nuke being launched, this time from Team 1's Shaking Giraffe. Once again, the first nuke killed 57,000 mass worth. He's going to land right here. Unfortunately, the SMD is loaded 3 times, so that's not really going to do anything. That'll like ripping through those engineers trying to build some more mass storages. But it's not really going to go well. Some artillery landing against some of those torpedo launchers, because why not? Torpedo bombers, because why not? SMD works perfectly fine that time in shooting the nuke down and have some circling effect. But a couple of Percys on this western side have managed to get by the front line, and the Fatboy is going to hide underneath the water, trying to come up, shoot some artillery shells, then hide. It does look like that crab that was here either went somewhere else or died off. The Monkey Lord's up there. And the Nuke, Billy Nuke land. Wait, what was that? Maximus has been defeated by Bury the Light. He got shot by artillery. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. The shields were down just enough. Killed off the comm. And it is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. I thought that was a Billy Nuke that like landed there incorrectly or something. But no, that was a explosion on a comm. Team 2 loses their first play of the game at the 52-minute mark. The shields are still online for Bury the Light. He has not given up. This is a shield base worth to remember. He's just constantly pumping them out. Doesn't care about symmetry. Doesn't care about any sort of that fancy, making the base look good. He just wants it to work, and I don't mind that. Form over function. That is obviously the argument here. Not argument here, but a lot of people have that argument of, I want a comfy couch, but I want it to look nice. But having both costs a lot of money, so you go for form, where it looks nice. You go for function, where it's supposed to be comfy. I don't know, but it just depends on the person and the situation, of course. I mean, that's a lot of Aeon shielding, to be fair. Just a little bit to get a nice little shot of that. Actually, that's a little too slow. Let's go like do nice little shot of all of those shield emitters just pumping out shielding. The comm intermixed with all this. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just imagining the meme with, oh, what's his name from The Simpsons? Just, he's on the bus like, I'm in danger. That's what that reminds me of. Look at him. He's just like sitting here being like, I am fine. This is fine. We're all fine here. How are you? Kind of the line from episode 4 or Star Wars, depending on what year you grew up in. The film was obviously originally named Star Wars, and then it was changed later. Well, it's still Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, but when it was the first movie released, it wasn't Episode 4. It was just just Star Wars, and then Empire came out, then Return of the Jedi came out, and then when I think it's when Lucas did the special editions, he changed them to New Hope, and obviously Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, or Revenge of the Jedi, depending on which one you favor. I like both. I like the original idea of kind of Revenge of the Jedi, but he took that title and just switched it to Revenge of the Sith. He felt that Revenge was a little too, of course, harsh and not really in the Jedi code versus Return. I don't know. There is something to be said about getting revenge on someone versus returning to the galaxy, that sort of thing. Anyway, talking about a different fantasy genre, or fantasy series in the same genre. This is sci-fi, and that's sci-fi as well, so it works. Lasers now focusing on something else, targeting the SMD. That usually indicates that somebody has a nuke, and where is it? If you're going to build it, if you're going to go after it, might as well build it. Strategic launch. There's the nuke launch. This time it's from Team 1's player of Bury the Light. Maybe, no, they're going after the SMD, and it's going south to this position. The Fatboys are moving. 2 of them are going that way. 2 of them are going that way. 2 of them are moving around. There's one up there. There are 7 Fatboys online from one Big Annie, and he is pumping those things out. I think he'll get 1. He'll get 1 in that mix. The other one gets EMP'd. How is your arty so accurate? Says we're all legit. Duke is down, so only 1 Duke online for Team 2, and they're building a Mavor, because why not? And they're building it in the middle of the base, which is actually a pretty good place to put it, because you get shielding overlap here from Desert Wolf. You get obviously the shielding overlap from Raw Legit's already built structures, then you can build even more shields to cover not only the Mavor but everything else. Arty, TGT, target. I think that's what that means. There is an Arty being built here by Team 1's Shanking Giraffe next to the Hatsu, the T3 nuke launcher, or strategic launcher, nuke launcher, tomato, potato. P-Gen's going down for a secondary air grid or tertiary air grid. Another emissary being built. Again, not next to anything, but still kind of underneath the shielding. That is going to be 3 emissary online. That Duke is still targeting that base. I feel like at some point you got to target something else. It's not really getting through the shielding. It does look like the SMD is fine. The artillery actually focusing on this SMD. Probably going after the 2 Novaxes that are online. Is that the only artillery? I feel like there's 2 because I saw 2 land. I don't see... Is there a disruptor somewhere? Nope, it looks like there is an artillery possibly going to be started, but that's going to be ended very quickly. Grab I don't see any sort of artillery. Maybe I should have an icon for T3 artillery or something. That'd be probably a good idea. I don't see anything. Desert Wolf is running around and the shields around him are collapsing. That's gotta hurt. He's just being targeted directly. Yeah, it's just that one Duke, very interestingly. Anyway, still going after that base here against Battlefront. He's building mode shielding and another Novax, but there's a Fatboy that has moved his way around to the western side, and it's being chased by a Monkey Lord. And that Monkey Lord is needs to turn north. The secondary guns on the Fatboy open up, and this is a very interesting view. Hey, get back here. Hey, get back here. Get back here and face judgment. Come back here. Hey. This very interesting scene along the edge of the map. It's very funny. You see lasers just like impacting shields. There's artillery landing around. You know, all that stuff. The Monkey Lord dies to the Fatboy. Oh, actually, there's a person nearby to assist, but still, Fatboy survives. Pigeon will go down. Turn and fire on this thing. Don't fire on that. What are you doing? And the Fatboy supremacy is reigning literally supreme here. Another Fatboy. Massive artillery. How many Fatboys? What would you do? Ooh, 4. A Klondike bar is kind of popping into my head. He has 11 of them. 11 Fatboys online. That is a ton of Fatboys. They probably weigh a ton, most likely. Look at this. Look at this push from Fatboys. We are slow, but we fire lots of artillery shells, and man, we have some Fatboys being targeted by those Authams and crabs. Bricks. There we go. They killed off a chicken, and we have actually emissary fire targeting the Fatboys themselves. Airfight, says Desert Wolf. Where is this airfight of which you speak of? And in the... Nope. Doesn't look like there's an airfight happening. Though Team 2 is doing perfectly fine. We have some spy planes running around trying to see what's going on in the base. How is that? Mavor, it is half done. Actually, it's over half done. It's going to cross into the 5,000. And Battlefront is killed off by one Big Annie at the same time that a... No, it's just killed off by the Fatboy. That's got to hurt. Looks like he charged the Fatboy and died. T1 bombers inbound will kill the Fatboy off. He killed 190,000 mass. 91,222 kills. Oh, he's still going. 223. 192,000 mass killed. Will he get? He will not get that last T3 mechs. That has got to hurt. Team 2 is down to 2 players left. Bury the Light and Shanking Giraffe versus the rest of Team 1 minus Maximus Triple X. They have punctured through more shielding, taking out another air grid. But Team 2 isn't really focused on air grids. They're focused on this giant behemoth of a cannon. TGT, the... What does... I feel like I should know what TGT means. I feel like that could be target, maybe. I don't know. I can't, like, TARGET, target. But maybe not. At least for the English speakers, TARGET, target. I don't know what it is in other languages. We have a crab coming to assist his Fatboy cousin, and that chicken is trying to dodge Fatboy shots while moving at the same time. It's not doing super well, especially when that crab starts to come into range. But still, the Fatboys are online, even with the loss of a few of them, especially the hero run. There's still 10. Well, I don't count that one. So 10 on... Oh, 9 that would be. Actually, 9 online. One of them up there. But that hero Fatboy to the west killed off not only his a monkey by himself, but a comm as well. The comm must have just sensed to just charge him. The artillery shots were too much and he died. ASF's moving to deal with the bombers. Nuke inbound. Trying to kill off the crab. The crab, if it keeps moving, will be fine. The Monkey Lord might be fine, but the satellite's now focusing the shielding around all of these engineers. Don't know what's so special about it. I thought there's nothing here. They're just building a bunch of T2 artillery. Maybe that's what they're focused on. Legion goes down. Satellites are finishing it off. There goes the nuke, the Seraphim nuke. Very pretty nuke, and kills nothing. Secondary nuke, another nuke inbound. Actually, we'll probably get at least 3 Fatboys, I feel like. Yes, it does get those 3 Fatboys, even the one over there. How says we're all legit. How? What do you mean how? What is it? What? He killed off the Mavor is dead. Just restart it. The emissary fire has punctured the shielding, and there goes the emitters. They're going down. Team 2 doesn't have enough support around it. It looks like it was just enough. Bury the Light seems very happy with himself, but he's dealing with a Fatboy annoyance here. He has 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess with 3 emissaries, that is enough. He's building some Galactic Colossus for protection. And now the focus is on the northern side of things. There is an artillery online. There is actually a 4th artillery. That's probably what broke that base. And the amount of progress is very minimal here. The shields are falling. There goes a laser, the satellite laser as well. More shields are being built. Rather just trying to move around and avoid being hit. SMD is still online. Shields are just collapsing everywhere. You can see the emissary just devastating everything. There goes the mass. The calm of Desert Wolf is on a transport. Do not get shot out of the sky. That would very much suck here. He's going to move northward and get out of dodge. But unfortunately here, Team 1 is facing a very, very annoying threat of just massive, slowly moving objects known as Fatboys. Going to start encroaching anything and everywhere. Does look like there's still 2 more satellites on line. We still have, of course, Shanking Giraffe in the east, all by his lonesome. Pretty isolated. Monkey Lord's still online as well, but Team 1, I mean, that is a nice, very, very nice shield base, but I don't think it's going to withstand the firepower of 4 Fatboys. You need to start spamming out Team 1 and Team 2 everything at this point. Get out some Spectre gunships, get out some bombers, get out some Mercies, get out something. Mercies aren't that great anymore. Unless you would, he could easily spam out Mercies if it was the old Mercy, where it was the single damage, but Shanking Giraffe control Ks. It is now just Bury the Light versus the world here. A couple of Percys in the north. Going to go after some more P-Gens and Air Grid. Grab moving into the east. And now Bury the Light facing just death around everything and slowly being just... That noose is slowly encroaching around. Don't let me get torped, please, says that Desert Wolf. I mean, there he is to the west. He'll be fine. And I think he's going with Billy Nuke, I think. Does he still have that? Yes, he does. He still has Billy Nuke on board. He impacted the shields over here. Move the sats as well. Legit move them westward at least a little bit. And there's still an air grid. The artillery still raining in from Team 2 and from Team 1. ASF's in the rear. They're just retreating. More and more protection. We have some servers being built, trying to hold off anything and everything. Another Billy Nuke will be launched there pretty soon. 43,000 mass killed for that comm. ASF's coming in to protect the Fatboys, and the Fatboys are reigning supreme once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, the hero Fatboy over there to the west. You know, I kind of see it distance on the screen. Yeah, but look at that. That is just a massive amount of firepower. We have broadswords now on station. ASF fight over the base of Team 1's Bury the Light, and I think it is the end here, my folks. Multiple Fatboy fire going into that Colossus. Billy Nuke lands, takes out a huge chunk of those shields. How much mass did that guy kill off? He killed off he jumped to 170,000 mass with that one Billy Nuke. T2 Oblivion. Go turrets being PD being built, and the comm of Bury the Light says, I'm done. I'm out of here. So, just had to wait till Andy had 30 Fatboys because this took too long. That's raw legit. I mean, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is Fatboys again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything, or in this sense, 10 Fatboys will kill anything. One big Andy, I thought he wasn't doing a whole lot. You know, just kind of holding position, but he was just stacking up Fatboys and just eventually went, yeah, I think this is enough, and just went send. Just killed everything off. That Billy Nuke, I mean, it wasn't super, needed. It wasn't like a clutch play that absolutely had to happen, but it killed off a lot, and Bury the Light just went, that's it. He was going to lose anyways. It was going to take maybe a minute, 2 or more, but the Billy Nuke was just like, okay, I'm done. See you, bye. And on that note, it is time for MVP and MUP awards. Let's see. So Team 2, of course, won the game. So kind of slight inclination to go that way. With 4 artillery on... Wait, no, that's inbound, right? 1, I guess they were just crossing paths. So 3 artillery inbound. 4, of course, if you count the one from Shanking Giraffe. That's what killed off the Mavor. The amount of just firepower just forced the shields to stay offline and ended up dying off. So Bury the Light did very good with just constantly being the distraction for that artillery, but it eventually targets went elsewhere. One Big Andy to the west killed off a comm, and the Fatboy died off eventually. But still, it killed a Monkey Lord by itself and a Fatboy and a comm by himself. So that was a very good Fatboy. Honestly, at 1100, even though he didn't do as much as all the other players did, he did one thing very well, which was he gained control of the Southwest and went, okay, that's enough expansion. Fatboy time. So he just kept pumping out Fatboys. I feel like that's really what just collapsed the middle for Team 1, allowed Team 2 to focus elsewhere. He went up the edge and killed off a, Balfron. So I think One Big Dandy did a very good job. Very much MUP, Most Underrated Player of the Game award, goes to One Big Andy. Is there an MVP? Don't really know if there was one standout player from either team. I mean, of course, the Billy Nuke was nice to see from Desert Wolf, but I don't think there was one one player that really just stood out to me. Let me know that in the comments if you had one. But I think at least for MUP, or Most Underrated Player of the Game award, goes to One Big Andy. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about that, or in the game in general. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. And of course, I love to read those comments, so please do comment. I greatly appreciate it. The algorithm thanks you as well. And I will see all of you in the next one.